Hello again everybody. This is the next video. In the last one I played the first part of the duet for clarinets by Mozart, and we discussed this little piece. So now I'm going to talk to you about how to read through this. If you followed the course and you've seen my previous videos, they're all numbered. Then I've introduced this piece a few videos ago, and it's actually quite a lovely piece. I hope you agree when listening to the last video. It's quite nice, it's quite interesting, but it's also quite challenging. First of all, before you even start playing any piece of music, what you will find is that mostly at the beginning of a piece of written music you will find not only obviously the treble clef, so you know you can play it on the harmonica, but you'll also find a time signature. This is called a time signature. So what is a time signature on this one? It's 2 half notes. What is a half note? A half note is one of these open note heads, this like a ring. That's 2 counts. So I would advise you to actually see this as a 4/4 rhythm. The whole piece of music is divided in, you can see the little lines here in between, and each section between 2 lines is called a bar, and each bar has that rhythm, has 4/4 notes in the beat. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and every time you count 1 to 4 is between 2 lines. So this bar, that's bar 1, that's 4 counts. Then bar 2 is 4 counts, bar 3 is 4 counts. Every bar is 4 counts. Between the 2 lines is 4 counts. So every time you count 1, 2, 3, 4, you've played 1 bar. To explain this further, what I'm going to do is just give you, sometimes I'll give you bar numbers. So the bar numbers are actually in the piece. So this one is obviously bar number 1. There you see a number 1. On the second line it starts with bar number 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bars. You can see that quite clearly. So the first line is 5 times counting to 4. I hope this makes sense. And then it carries on, bar 6, 7, 8, etc, etc, etc. So if I want to discuss a certain bar with you, let's say I want to discuss this bit, and then I will have to discuss, then I will mention that to you as bar 19, 18 or 19, I'm not quite sure, sorry. But you can see the bar numbers, because at the beginning of each line it gives you the number of the first bar. So if that's bar 16, then that's 17, 18, 19, 20, etc. Bars. So now the second thing, you know, so, and there's also usually some kind of tempo indication here. So not only will you see the rhythm, so 4/4 notes in this case, and you will also see an indication of some sort about some sort of rhythm. Now, there is no law to play a piece in a certain rhythm. You play it at your own tempo. Only you as the player get to decide what tempo you're playing it at. I would invite you to listen to some YouTube videos of a classical piece, but played by different orchestras. Same piece by different orchestras, and you'll find that it's always played in different rhythms. One orchestra plays quicker, the other orchestra plays it slower. So basically, tempo is for the player to decide, no one else. If you struggle to play it slower. And if you can play it and you want to play it a bit quicker, then you can do that. In this case, it says here andante. Quick word about this. Sheet music was actually invented in Italy. So that's the reason why most of these indications or words or anything that you will find on rhythm music, especially with classical music, are usually Italian terminology. Get used to it. But basically andante means relatively slowly. So knowing that, you can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you struggle to keep up, you can do it slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's up to you. You decide the tempo. The only thing where a tempo comes in handy to discuss with other people, or where you have to sort of set a certain tempo, is if you play with someone else. Obviously then you have to play in the same tempo, or in a group or anything like that. Then obviously you have to all play in the same tempo. But if you play on your own, only you decide what tempo you're playing it at. Right, so then we look at this. What is this first note here? That's a half note, which is 2 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So it lasts for 2 counts. 1, 2. The notes after that are actually 8 notes. They are half a count. Now how do you count them? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So you add the word and to in between, and or and, whatever. So the first bar you would count 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. The second bar is easier because that's just 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a start. Okay? So then 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And that repeats quite a few times. When you get to bar 2, that's where it gets quite complicated. That's where you learn how to actually do what's called phrasing. This is like a phrase. You have to sort of learn and study how the phrase works and then learn to play that phrase. So, and these things take time. Don't expect to be able to read this and play this in 2 or 3 days. It takes time. Unless of course you're a natural talent and you pick that up straight away, but normally any normal human being, it would take a few weeks, if not actually months, to actually play through this fluently, read it and play it. That takes time. Take that time, please. Don't get frustrated. Please take your time. Please do. And there's no rush for this. Absolutely not. And the more time you've got, the more time you spend on your harmonica, the quicker you'll get it. But it does take time. It's not easy at all. Nobody says that. So, anyway, so just to explain the first line, so the first 5 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to play just those 4 bars for you. And what I want you to do, please, is to count along. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll start counting. I'll do 4 counts and then I'll start playing just the first line, just the first 5 bars, nothing else. And see if you can count along. So continue. So I'm going to count and you just continue while you're listening. So if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, you just carry on 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and follow the music. Read along. Okay? So here we go. Just the first 5 bars. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's just the first 5 bars. Then I'll do that again and I'll just do the first I'll just add the 6th bar because it makes a bit more sense. When you get to bar 6 and 7, that's where it gets quite complicated. Don't let this put you off. Just look at it and say, how am I going to play this? And you learn as a phrase. It's like a song that you play without reading music. You can play it without reading music, or you use, you know, and then just practice that phrase. The only difference is now you can see which notes you're supposed to play. But that doesn't make it any easier to actually learn. So when we go to, I'll start from bar 5, and again this is the way I talk you through this. So bar 5 is that bar, so I'm going to start playing there and then carry on here for a few bars. Again, 4 counts ahead, and just keep counting, continue the count where I leave it off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, wrong. Do it again. Yeah, that goes quite quick. But if you look at bar 6, here we are. That's actually 3 draw notes. The first 3 notes is an A, an F sharp and a D. So those 3 notes are all 3 draw notes. And this is the biggest trick with a harmonica. If you play 3 draw notes in a row, you only have 1 breath. You only breathe once and then move the harmonica to get to the next note. One breath, in one go. You don't have to play 3 notes, you just play 1 breath, 3 notes. So the first 3 notes are draw notes, then you get a blow note. That's the C there. So that one, that's the C, sorry. And then obviously you read that on. This is going back to, if you don't know where your notes are, please look at one of my previous videos where I explain these things. So get used to this, please. So now I'm going to play bar 1 up to 6, 7, bar 8, 1 to 8. The way you practice this yourself is in the same way. Take a little piece of the music and try and play that. If you can play that, then you move on or you add a few more bars. That's the best way to actually learn it. Don't try to play the whole piece in one go and you'll always struggle at the same point. So take a couple of bars, if you can play them, add a few more, etc. That's how you practice reading music. So now I'm going to play bar 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little note on bar number 8, and again that's this one. On bar 8 you see a little squiggly bit there. That is actually a rest. That's a rest of a quarter note. So when you get to bar 8, that note, as we discussed, is 2 counts. That is 1 count, and then you get a rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. Okay, so that's what this bit is there. Quite a lot to get used to, quite a lot to take in, I guess, especially if you're learning music, but hopefully you've done some of my previous videos, gone through the reading exercise that I posted, etc. So hopefully you can find, you know where your notes are. So now we're getting to the next point where all the notes are different. There's no piece of music where all the notes are the same length. There isn't, because that's not music. You know, any piece of music, you'll always have different note lengths. It's just a given, but, you know. So then you have to learn this. And these note lengths actually make more sense if you know how to count. So it really, that's why it's quite a lot to take in at this point, because you have to count to 4 and then obviously count also your notes. So if we just go through bar 1 to 8 in counts, so I just count to 4 all the time, and I'm just counting you from bar 1 to 8. Okay, then you get this: 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Rests. That's bar 1 to 8. That's the rhythm that you're supposed to play it in. And again, rhythm is completely different from tempo. Has nothing to do with tempo. You can play something slowly, very slowly, as slowly as you want, but it still can be in rhythm. Slow music and fast music is both music, but music that hasn't got rhythm is not music. It's very important to actually count. So, I really hope that this helps. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.